Good day, everyone. This is Crispin J. Ticon Jr., and today we'll discuss about the chapter 1 in research writing. To start with, in chapter 1, it composed of seven sections, starting with introduction or the background of the study. Next is a theoretical and conceptual framework, statement of the problem, hypothesis, significance of the study, scope and delimitation of the study, and lastly, the definition of terms. So each of these we'll try to discuss this part, no? Starting with the introduction or the background of the study. So in this part, the researcher discussed the broad field of the study, then lead the reader to the focus of the research problem present the overview of the study and demonstrate that care has been taken to acknowledge and chart the depth and breadth of the existing body of knowledge, cite international, national, local realities, gap that the study entails to fill, justify the conduct of the study. Example here, if you're going to write the background of the study, um, start with the general overview or the general instruction and historical overview. Then down to the from general to specific. So including the literature review, rationale or knowledge gaps, objectives, and hypothesis. And that composes on the uh, background of the study. Next to the background of the study or the introduction is the theoretical and conceptual framework. So here, the researcher begin with the main argument in the thesis or in the research, cite the overarching theory that supports this argument, thoroughly discuss the variables and their subcomponents, if any, and acknowledging the proponents of the constructs, explain the interrelationships of the variables, and with a schematic presentation of the interplay of the variables, flowchart for quantitative studies, or place the schema on one page. So, example of this is here, no? So, in this theoretical and conceptual framework, we can notice that the different area and which connected to each component. Here, theoretical framework, then conceptual framework. So, definition, source, purpose, flexibility, and the usage. Next to theoretical and conceptual framework, we have statement of the problem. So here, the researcher, the writer, write the main statement to introduce the specific research questions. So, like for example, this study intends to determine the relationship of okay, and here we have in this statement of the problem. Of course, the researcher will give the questions that would lead to answer the hypothesis or the null hypothesis. So here the statement of problem focuses on what would be the main point of the research. Okay, so what would be the problem that need to be answered? So that is here in the statement of the problem. And next is the hypothesis or the hypothesis. Based on the problems which entail significant associations, difference, state, the null hypothesis, and hypothesis. So here, this is would be the preposition or supposition of the writer. Like for example, if the researcher wants to know something, then he must put the hypothesis, and that hypothesis will be uh, based on the research, based on his movement of his research. The hypothesis must be um, towards the end must be answered if it is relational or not, or correlation or not, or there's no significance or no relation at all towards the end of these uh, writings or thesis or research. Next to hypothesis or hypothesis is here now. We have here also the example of hypothesis. So here, the hypothesis is testable prediction that seeks to explain a phenomenon or make statement about the relationships between variables. So here we have also example of null hypothesis. So the null hypothesis is a statement that suggests no significant relationship or effect between variables. So what I've said in this hypothesis, this would be the judgment point of the research, where the researcher try to answer the the questions or the statement of the problem. So starting with knowing the hypothesis and explaining it or proving it that it has a significant value, or it has an effect, or it depends on the movement of that thesis on the researcher. Next to this is significance of the study. So here in the significance of the study, so we will state why this study is significant and who will be benefit from this study, specific sectors, and what will be the benefit. So here we will explain to, or we will write, or we will give the output no, who will be benefited, or who will be benefit this study. Like for example, in a certain study, the beneficiary is the students or even the farmers, so depends, no. But here in significance of study, we will discuss here who will benefit from the study, or it's either a group of people, it's either a specific uh, school or a specific area of the society. So it depends on the researcher. So again, in the significance of the study, this area will give the who will benefit the study. Okay. So here, next to that is a scope and delimitations of the study. So it includes the variables, type of participants, a geographical location of the study, time duration, and other limitation of the study. So here, in scope and delimitation of the study, so in this area, uh, we will be giving the scope or the specific area which the research is conducted. So basically, we will deal with people, like for example, for the specific farmers of a specific area. So that would be your scope and the limitation of the study. So it doesn't mean that if you uh, study the life of the farmer, or even or yeah, example, the life of the farmer, then all the farmers will be your correspondence. So it is not, no, in scope and delimitation of the study. So there will be a specific area that the study must be conducted. So like for example, in a certain barangay, or two or more barangay, like for example two or three barangays, that will be your scope of your study. So that your study will be centered in that area. So that's why we have this scope and delimitation of the study. Example, a very important thing is the geographical location of the study and the type of participants. So of course, you'll be dealing with people, answering those questions, answering those your tools in doing your research. So that's why in here in scope and delimitation of the study. So we will state here as a researcher uh, who is your respondents and what particular area, and how big is your scope, no, in your study. Next to this is a definition of terms. Okay, so here in this part, no, of course, we will have an introductory sentence, and in this area, provide a conceptual and operational definition of terms. So we will arrange them in alphabetical order, or even giving it indentation, or underline the word, or defining incomplete sentences. If there are subcomponents of a variable, indent them under that variable. Example here, attitude towards mathematics. So that would be uh, in this term, no. So that three word attitude towards mathematics, so there will be a specific definition of that. So example here, this term refers to the positive or negative feeling or sentiment of a pupil towards mathematics. So we will not give definition on each word, but then again, the relation